Today I'm checking out this 6-gallon air compressor that was sent to me so I can do this review. So I'm going to get it out of the box. We're going to see everything it comes with, and then we're going to test it out. All right, so this is everything out of the box. You get the 6-gallon pancake air compressor. You get all of these little pieces here. You get the hose, the manual. In this little bag, there's a tire gauge here. You get some thread tape. You've got a little blower here, a valve head there to air up tires. You got a valve to air up floats, sport balls, just the basics of what you really would need to start off with. So a good starting kit. Let's check out this compressor. All right, so this compressor has a regulator on it. So you twist it to the right to raise the regulator pressure, twist it to the left to lower it. It's got two quick connect outputs here, a quick release valve. This helps release air out of the tank when you're no longer using that air. It also has a drain down here that allows you to drain the air. This doesn't have any air in it right now, but you would just twist this, it would drain the air, and it would also release any water, which is a maintenance thing. You definitely want to do that. You've got your gauges up here. This is your tank gauge. This is your output gauge, which is what you would set using this. This is a 1300 watt, 1.7 horsepower compressor. It has 2.3 cubic feet per minute at 90 PSI, 1.94 cubic feet per minute at 120 PSI. Its maximum pressure is 150 PSI. So this is actually a pretty high PSI compressor for its size. On the top here, it's got a really nice grab handle. I really like that. It has an on and off button here. That way when you plug it in, you can just turn it on and off. Of course, once you plug it in, you turn it on, it should fill up the tank. And then once it hits its high pressure mark, it should turn itself off. And then once it goes below that, it'll turn itself back on to keep the tank going. On the back here, it's got these little plastic tabs so you can wind up the power cord when it's not in use. And I think that's pretty much it when it comes to the tank. Let's get this thing plugged in and see what it sounds like. The manual calls it a pancake silent air compressor. I've never heard of an air compressor that is actually silent, but I'm assuming what they mean by this is it's a much quieter version of a compressor, because compressors typically are really loud, like earplugs get me away from that compressor loud. So we're gonna see how loud this is being a silent air compressor. So I've got this thing plugged in now, and I do want to note I have a compressor that's kind of like this. It's a different brand and it's pretty old, but you cannot stand even near this thing when it's running without earplugs or something covering your ears, because it is just ear-piercing loud. That is typical of an air compressor because you've got this little air pump in here that's just going crazy. So I'm definitely not expecting this to be quiet, but let's just see how loud it really is. Now that's not very loud. It is still loud. You're still gonna know the compressor's running, but you do not have to have earplugs around this. I mean, you might still wanna wear earplugs, but it's definitely not ear-piercing loud like my other one. So that is probably what they mean by silent. It is a much lower decibel air compressor than you would have typically gotten in this package. Next question is, how quick does it build pressure? So let's see. All right, so it's up to 100 PSI. That's actually pretty quick. I think it's because it is such a high wattage and a high horsepower compressor for a small size is probably why it's building up pretty quick. But that's pretty good. I'd probably guess about a minute or so to get to 100 PSI. So from 0 to 100, probably about a minute or so. So yeah, I think this is going to be a great little air compressor for my garage. I like the fact that it's got a pretty good size horsepower motor on it so that it builds pressure pretty quick. It can handle some decent output at decent PSIs. It comes with this kit with the hose and the extra little pieces. It's pretty quiet. You're not going to give yourself a headache with this thing running compared to like older compressors that were really loud. It's got dual outputs, regular. I mean, it's got everything we need. So yeah, I really like it. I think you'll really like it. And I hope this information was helpful. Thank you very much for watching. Y'all take care.